morning, everyone. Welcome back to episode 44. Here we go. The double fours episodes of Merritt in the Morning. He is 30-year State Senator Jim Merritt. I am president of the Greater Lawrence Chamber of Commerce, Brad Kloffenstein. In the middle,
I just woke up.
Indiana's weatherman, Brian Wilkes. I know, I saw you last night at 11:20 on the air.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my goodness.
so doing the math, you didn't get a lot of sleep because you have to drive from the west side over here to Lawrence.
Yeah, I normally go to bed about 1:30 or 2,
So
2:30, sometimes 3.
So you drive home, probably have a relaxer, just chill with the bulldog.
Yeah, we just hung out and checked out the Christmas lights and then hit the sack. Yeah, so getting up in the morning, I miss it because I really do like mornings. I really do. I miss them.
Okay,
I've been doing it for 30-some years. So
Yeah.
good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Cafe Audrey is a great place to be in the morning.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And we're back to our home base, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Cafe Audrey, for hosting us. So we're doing our normal Thursday show. Yes, work hard and be nice. We're doing our Thursday show
The
on Wednesday
essence.
morning.
The essence of Brad Kloffenstein.
And Jim Merritt.
Yeah.
You guys got a lot of energy right now. I love what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Well, caffeinated.
And
That helps.
by the way, good
But it's
coffee
healthy.
too.
Yes.
Good
they do.
morning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
How are you?
I think we're all in the Christmas spirit, Klopp.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. And around Christmas time, people get money. Do you know where you should put that money?
Stockyards Bank.
Amen, brother. Thank you, Stockyards Bank and Trust, for sponsoring Merritt in the Morning. They've been a longtime sponsor. They have branches 71st and Binford, Carmel. I saw the Carmel branches up on 31
And I was in
toward your
there.
house.
I was in there just the other day. And
The Mad Russian helped you, right?
Michael, his last name is so long.
How long is it?
Yeah. Actually, Brian Wilkes he grew up in south side of Chicago. He's like, oh, I know that.
Oh man, some of the names, right?
It is so nice. They have
love 'em.
great service in there, and their branch is beautiful. It's like 116th in Illinois and Spring Mill and 31. And you can, when you're on Meridian Street going south, you just see it on your right.
Did you take out some 20s?
Yeah, exactly.
Slap 20 out.
We're more of they putting money in.
Oh, okay.
At
Good,
least
good,
at this
good.
point.
But that's very cool.
Yeah. They also have branches in Plainfield, downtown Indianapolis, on the south side in Greenwood at Emerson and County Line Road, right in front of the Ale Emporium.
Our friends at the
Our
airport.
friends at the Ale in front of there. They've got one coming any day now, I think in January, Stones Crossing.
Mhm.
So they call it Center Grove, but it's down there.
It is a beautiful building. Do you
is
think
cool
they'll ever allow us there?
I don't know
Maybe.
if they were wise.
Are you allowed south of Washington?
No, it's just we like to think we're good company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that area too. We were down there a year ago when the tornado hit. But boy, has that turned out to it just continues to grow.
It
And
really
they've
is.
got
It is.
Ale opened up down there, and so many different restaurants and venues. So it's beautiful.
Speaking of great
Yeah.
place, they're thinking about Zionsville.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense. Right?
Zionsville, Whitestown.
The
They've got one coming up
expansion
like
is crazy.
21st or 22nd Meridian. So
I mean, you've seen this, but isn't it wild how things have really just continued to grow outward? I mean, Pendleton, Lapel, McCordsville, Fortville. Then you go up Whitestown, and you go. It's really amazing. You keep going south, Franklin, and all of the communities are just vibrant. They look beautiful. I was down in Franklin, and I thought, what a beautiful town this is really grown to be.
We
And
love
we were down there for a
Franklin.
fundraiser in
It's
the
a
spring.
place.
Right?
Yep.
So pretty neat.
we also want to thank the Honey Baked Ham Company. Jim, it is that season.
Oh, it is.
Get your ham orders in early.
I purchased 2 the other day.
Good
I
for you.
ordered 2.
You ordered 2?
I ordered 2.
You stole one and paid for the other?
and I'm gonna pick them up on what's today? Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna pick 'em up
18th.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got the largest they have, and Felicia Kalb was wonderful. Ian Kalb, son of Amy, and
Where are their locations?
Thank you for the softball, Brian. They're at 96th and Michigan
yes,
and 146th and Greyhound Pass,
Yes.
the Carmel right in front of the Menards. And they have new signage,
Yeah.
at least on that one up in Carmel Westfield.
and they're so nice. In
They
there.
are fabulous. So thank you to the Kalb family and the Honey Baked Ham Company for sponsoring Merritt in the Morning. I'm not sure why they do it, but I'm glad they do.
Yeah.
So, and they seem to enjoy the show. We're going to have to go back to their other location
Mhm.
and record sometime.
I wonder if it has anything to do with hams.
It might. So,
Yeah.
Couple of hams.
Jim, you said you ordered the biggest ham they had. You know,
Yeah,
at the
my
state
goodness.
fair, they have the large hogs out there. You know, like the. I wonder what it would take to get Big Bob, the 1,200-pound hog, and turn him into a honey baked ham.
Don't tell him.
I know. I felt bad for him all of a
Just
sudden.
gotta
Because
sneak
Klopp
up.
is over here
It's all
thinking about
lit.
You're licking your top.
Big Bob, you look mighty tasty with the bourbon glaze on you.
They do a really nice job, and they are so busy in there during the holidays. They have to have one of those gerbil runs where you wait in line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they also schedule your pickup, so they really manage the traffic well, the people traffic, and they have cakes in there, they have turkeys, they have barbecue, their sides. It's just a really great place.
It is.
And
So after the holidays,
mhm.
you can still come in and have lunch.
Oh,
dinner,
absolutely.
Early dinner.
Mhm.
So you can get sandwiches. You can eat in there.
Mhm.
Take it home. They got all the sides, soft
It's a
drinks, and
family
everything.
operation.
Yep.
Wonderful.
I'm surprised you don't have one sitting right here.
You know,
Well,
we did it though. The location
It's
was-
called product placement.
Yeah, that's true, but you probably have some of it, and so then I couldn't have as much as
I love ham.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
do
doubt about it. Just that was a random thought that was in my head, and we were talking about a giant ham in front of us.
Yeah,
So there
Big
you
Bob.
have it. Yeah. Well, that was 7 minutes of commercial.
Yeah, it was. Well,
Great to see you guys. Have a great holiday.
In and out. So,
Pays the
all right,
bills.
so we brought. So Jim, who
This-
was you?
Yes.
So
That
this
guy.
is the
I'm
first
a
time.
fill-in.
So this is episode 44. The first time we've had a repeat guest.
Yes.
Why am I a first time?
You were the
Oh,
first.
yeah,
I want to know who
the
dropped
first
out
re-
this morning.
No,
Who
no,
backed out.
Popular the first timer.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
we got a lot of feedback. And behind my mom, you were our second favorite guest.
Wow, that's
So,
cool. I
yeah.
don't want to mess with that. Mom's gonna
Well,
get you in trouble.
Jim, like,
Oh, that's cool.
shanghaied my mom in, like, completely unannounced, which made it even better.
Yeah.
She is generally not somebody
Oh.
in front of the camera. And Jim got 9.5 minutes of good.
Yeah,
material.
it was a fun podcast.
So I'm a repeater, and,
Yeah.
and so we have to have Mom back on us.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's
Very
coming.
cool. Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good
Nice
morning.
to be
So-
with you again.
so Brian,
Is it gonna snow?
Yeah, it will this weekend, at least for a little while. Friday.
in South Bend. Right?
Yeah,
It's going.
If you're driving up, what time are you leaving? If you're heading up there, I mean, you're going to run into some snow,
All right.
which
Mhm.
probably won't be that impactful for the roads, but it would be maybe for visibility concerns. But who are you going with? IU or are you going with?
Oh,
you went
I'm
to
an
IU.
IU.
Yeah, you're IU. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so
Okay.
Southside Catholic. So
Oh,
you got to,
of course.
that was the pennant.
The old lake effect.
But there will be a snow here on the way up. There will be snow up there earlier, and all that's a product of the cold air that's coming in for the weekend. But the big question: will we have snow for Christmas? And it's going to warm up again. Probably going to be some light rain on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, kind of like today. This is a 40 degrees and a little damp.
typical late
Christmas.
December weather.
Yeah. But it's, I mean, we've started off the season colder than average. Now we've had these big swings, which was predicted. And I think we're going to do that again. And I do feel that maybe to close out the month, we're going to have a pretty mild spell. And then my thought was back in October, November that January is the one that really, I think could be pretty volatile. I think we could have a pretty good blasts of cold and maybe even get us. I wouldn't even be surprised if somewhere along the Gulf Coast or even into the Tennessee Valley, we have a severe weather outbreak. That might even happen as early as next week. Not necessarily here, but something to watch for when it gets into this kind of wavy patterns like this. Up cold, really cold, and warm again.
So let me ask you. So do you do you have a home studio where you could do the weather forecast, or do they have a cot for you in case
I think it's the latter.
Snowmageddon comes?
There's a hotel across the parking lot from us that they'll
Yeah,
put
there
the folks in. There's something about it that I like the challenge of trying to get home. You know,
have all-wheel
when you've been
drive?
there for 14 hours or whatever. But we really, I looked and we haven't had a winter storm warning issued from the National Weather Service here in 2 years. And you got to go back 3,000 plus days when the last blizzard warning was issued. Why I know that? Because that's what I do. And I just randomly think of these
It
things
did
and I
not file
wonder. But
cabinet.
it was January of 2023 was the last time we had a winter storm warning issued.
That is
So
incredible.
it really is wild when you
We've
think
had
about
a
the
lot of
last 3
mild
winters. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And just the lack of snowfall has been pretty stunning the last few years. But December's opened up colder than the last 12 or 13. I mean, we were really cold at one point at the first week. And we've had 4 inches of snow already, which It's
you-
come in
and you
spurts.
predicted 14.
15.1,
Okay.
and we're at 4, and
We got
that's
11 to go. That's not
yeah, and that's not bad, and that's still below average. But we've
Yeah.
already had half of what we had all of last year.
Hmm.
I mean, we had 8.2 inches of snow last year, which was just
Total.
stunning, total.
total. Yeah,
And
I
almost
don't know
half of that fell on All Star Weekend that Friday. We had like
Oh,
3.5, 4 inches of snow.
Yep.
And that was our biggest snow of the season in February.
Yeah.
We didn't even have our first measured snow last year until the 31st of December. So it's been really weird,
That all-star
winter
weekend.
wise.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to push your memory. What is the least amount of snow we've had in a season?
Oh, well, I mean, last year was among the top 7. I want to say it was probably in the early 1900s that it was around, I want to go under 4 inches. It might have been like 4.1. I want to say it was probably in the 30s because that was the Dust Bowl era. That was dry time. So yeah, that's a great question. It's 1890s or early or 1930s, somewhere in there. But now you got me thinking, and I got to go to Big Blue and figure it out.
You know, Klopp, we probably covered this last podcast, but I think it's worth repeating. Where did you get your initial feeling that you wanted to be a weatherman?
Trying to get out of school. There's no doubt about it. No, that's legitimately
Tell
what
the
happened.
principal, hey, it's looking bad.
No days.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, you have some clout when it comes to like passing bills. But if there's ever a bill that needs to come up, it needs to be that when there's a snow day issue, the kids do not have to do the online. Snow day should not be tampered with. And if there's a march, I'm going to go for it. I'll be right there front and center. I wanted to get out of school for snow days. It was the blizzard of '79 in northern Indiana, the blizzard '78. Many will recall.
remember.
We were out of school for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You did.
And it was
cold.
you didn't have.
Yeah.
And so school was canceled. Colleges, I mean, it was a horrible storm, 80-mile-an-hour winds, but it was like, wow, as a kid, this is it, right? It's
Yeah.
Christmas time, you're off, and then and it hit right after the holidays, so it seemed like we didn't go to school for a month, and I was okay with that, and we played, right? But what drove me into really the idea is that, man, I would watch the TV and I'd watch the weather reports, and they'd say, oh, we're going to get a snowstorm, and it wouldn't pan out, and we wouldn't get anything, and I would get so mad because I'm like, dang it, I didn't do my homework. I want to figure this stuff out, and it was just the inquisitiveness and the idea of like, how does this stuff work, and you get bit by the bug as a young kid, but that's exactly what happened. I wanted snowstorms as a kid. I wanted to get out of school, and what drove me to figure it out on my own.
Man, you did it wrong. So when I was growing up, our school superintendent lived on the street behind us. Every once in a while, I'd watch his kid on at least a couple of occasions. He'd be driving me home. It'd be snow, and he'd be like, "What do you think, Brad? Should we have school tomorrow?"
You tell him,
Well, I don't know. It's looking pretty bad.
yeah, I would cancel it. Yeah. But yeah, I tell you, this day and age, the kids don't get as many school snow days because we don't have that much snow.
Yeah, e-learning,
But,
damn internet.
No, growing up, I remember. So I had this. I still have it. I have my mother and father's 1961 hi-fi. It is a Motorola
Mhm.
turntable radios, and we would listen to that for the school closings.
Oh,
And you'd wait for it. The station up in northern Indiana was WJOB.
I know Jed, who still owns that station. I
Really?
know him a little bit.
So they would come
I've been
on
on that
and
station.
they would announce them, St. Anne's and Lansing closed, and you go, you lose your mind. You felt like you're like Macaulay Culkin and you'd be so excited. Now you get the phone calls or the emails or the texts, whatever, but you had to sit there and patiently wait, and wait for that name to be announced.
WIBC.
Yeah, and it was so exciting when you got it, but it was like, now that I think about it, I think our threshold was like 8 inches of snow. If you get 8 inches of snow, you're not going to school. I'm like, 8 inches? They cancel it now for 2 inches of snow. But yeah, that's what drove it. But if there's ever a thing that I've got to hang up is the kids don't get snow days, not necessarily because of the snow.
Yeah, well, it's
But-
remote learning.
Yeah, remote learning.
Now, in guerrilla marketing, back when I ran the Libertarian Party, I got signed up with a couple of the local TV stations
Yeah.
where I could call the number and cancel libertarian events
Yes, you call in. Yeah.
on the scroll. Libertarian Party,
Some of those events canceled. Some of those events that come across are wonderful, though. But some of those funny are like, the head of the Moose Lodge, 421, closed. Okay, I guess they're sticking around today. There'd be some strange ones that would come
Let's
across.
talk a little bit about the technology that you have at your fingertips.
Oh, yeah.
today.
When you
Yeah,
started, you
different.
still
Talking
had
about this.
the chalkboard that flipped over.
Not necessarily me. I'm not that old.
You're etching.
I'm not that
That's
old. But I tell you, we did have, we used to have dot matrix printers, and you'd wait for the report, the charts to come out. Now with the internet, everything, the maps are there so early on. But, I kind of got into the business, 1990-ish. I was right on the cusp of the whole modernization of the weather service. Doppler radar had been out, and we were starting in the late 80s, early 90s to be able to use that on the air. The raw data from the Doppler. But even when I started at Fox 59 in 1995, we still had to dial up the data, wait for it to download. You remember the old AOL? Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep,
Oh,
and you're waiting for each frame to come in.
Who picked
And
up the phone line?
yeah, it was painful to wait for that. And now, I mean, we're so spoiled because at the fingertips, I can get a 5-minute temperature report from the airport. We get aircraft data that when the aircrafts are taking off or landing are giving us data as to where there might be a dry layer or how the atmosphere is overhead. Why isn't the snow started? It is amazing the amount of technology we got. But yeah, it's changed, and more so. And what I do is broadcasting, so you're performing as well.
Yeah.
To have the technology to move maps and things like that, to be able to show animated fronts and animated satellite imagery, that goes back to the 1970s. And my mentor, who just retired at WGN, Tom, they were one of the first that would put together, they would edit together the video of a satellite and show it moving. That was a big deal,
Yeah.
to see the clouds moving. And that was old data. We weren't real time like we are today, which is stunning.
And how big a team do you have?
Well, we have 8 meteorologists.
That's
It's amazing. It really is, because when I started there, we had one.
Yeah.
I think I worked 96 straight days. and to this day, Bob Donaldson laughs. He says, "You worked every day for an entire month, and I nominated you for Employee of the Month, and you still didn't get it."
Oh, Bobby D.
I'm like, "Well, Bob, I thought that was very kind of you. I go, I guess that speaks volumes of me." But yeah, so we've grown that newscast, we've grown that broadcast. When I started, and I was Bob was there first, and there's a few of us still there: Russ McQuaid and myself, and a couple of guys like Jamie Suter, our chief photographer. Mike Woods, who's in our production department, he's been there for 30 years. I mean, there's a few of us that have been around a long time when we were just one 30-minute newscast, and watched that grow over the last, I'll be working there for almost 30 years now. Man, and I have a lot of hair back there,
Yeah.
too. Oh, and it
Well,
wasn't
now you
gray
got-
either. It was so dark.
You got a sister station. I know you guys are running thin on staffing when you end up on CBS 4.
Yeah, well, there's Chris Wright's out for his knee surgery, so we're shuffling some bodies. But 8 meteorologists at our station. But that's because we have so many newscasts too. And you're right, we're covering CBS morning, CBS noon, and then CBS in the evening. And of course, Fox is on in the morning, and again all evening long. Then we have our weekend morning shows, our weekend evening shows, and then it's just a lot of airtime.
I'm thinking about it. So yeah, you did start at 30 minutes. Now you're probably what, 6 or 8 hours a day?
Yeah, I
Live
kind of call
with
it a
morning
little
and-
Jerry Lewis telethon every day.
Yeah.
It starts at 4, it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I always say at 7:30, the balloons drop, we cry, there's a check presentation, we do it all over again. Smile, though you're, oh, we got to do it again? So I miss those Jerry Lewis telethons. That was great television
Yeah,
back
it
in the
was
day.
great
I didn't like it as a kid because I thought it was kind of campy. I'm like, who are these people coming up? Now I'm like, wow, they were just like Hollywood stars that would just show up and
Oh,
just do
yeah.
whatever
Those
they wanted,
successful,
you
too.
know?
Lots of money.
Yep. So it is a telethon every day.
So let me reset. You were watching Merritt in the morning on a Wednesday, but we are back in the morning.
Yeah, and he's Klopp.
He's Jim.
I'm
This is
Brian.
our show.
Brian.
He's Brian Wilkes.
Hi,
He's
I'm
our
Brian.
guest.
See, we're the stars. We
Yes,
just have-
exactly. Yeah, we bring the star on. Sorry, your third banana on this.
No, I'm a repeat performer. I still think someone canceled on you.
No. The fact, because I reached out to you like a month ago, and you're like, "No, I'm doing triple duty all month. I can't do it." Then you
We're
texted
lucky
me.
to have you.
Yeah, you texted me over the weekend, said, "Hey, I can do Wednesday." I'm
I
like,
think
"All
I
right."
said no, I just said let me check.
Well,
I heard no.
he said eggs at Cafe Aubrey, so I was like, oh, I think I can
probably
wheel
right
that
there.
in. Right.
So we want to thank our sponsors, the Honey Baked Ham Company,
Mhm.
locations at 96th and Michigan, 146th and what is it, Greyhound Pass?
Yes.
Greyhound Pass up in, I think I said Rangeline earlier. It's in front of Menards. If you can
Yes.
find your way to Menards,
Mhm.
you can find the Honey Baked Ham Company because
Everybody knows where they're in Corner Suite. on
right,
that
they are in the
strip
corner
center.
suite.
Mhm.
Nice snazzy new sign.
More than likely, a cow will greet you.
Yes, which is great.
Ian,
So great
Felicia.
family-owned company.
Yeah, yeah.
Rumor they might be trying to expand.
Well, they're wonderful.
They are. They should.
Mhm.
So eat more ham and eat it from the Honey Baked Ham Company.
More ham.
Mhm.
That's perfect saying.
They
for
need that
turkeys
slogan.
on Thanksgiving.
Honey mustard.
I like anything that has anything to do with mustard and
Well, they
ham.
have great honey mustard.
See, there it is.
Honey mustard. Jim could live on that. So that's honey mustard in his cup there.
I've got a couple of bottles at home. Mm-hmm.
So we also want to thank Stockyards Bank and Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Locations 71st in Binford, Carmel, downtown Indianapolis, Plainfield, Greenwood at County Line in Emerson. Let's see. Did I say Plainfield?
Does he have an account at every one of those?
Yeah, no, Jim does. Actually, Jim has been the money generator.
That's where you.
Yeah.
That's where you
They have a
stash them,
beautiful
huh?
bank downtown.
They do, yeah,
251
downtown
North
branch.
Illinois.
So the 71st and Binford branch is very active in the
Yeah,
Lawrence
yeah.
Chamber of Commerce.
We had a great Halloween party there.
Oh my gosh.
It was wonderful.
Brian, they turned the teller's cages into a bar.
Really?
You walk up to the teller's cage and like, what can we get you?
Yeah.
Coors Banquet or
Yeah.
They slide it underneath the cage.
slide it-
Yeah.
yeah,
That
it's
was a lot of fun.
Felt like a
was
speakeasy.
kind of fun. Yeah, they provided food.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Stockyards Bank and Trust.
They have wonderful people that work there.
And I want to say thank you too for the invite.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. We had I meant to the Halloween party. Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll invite you next time. I mean, come on, you're a big star.
That was a
and
little miss.
you're a big star. It was a miss. Well, it also happened at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Well, that's.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. You just waved at me on television,
You
right?
could have had the forecast from there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like doing remote forecasts like that. That
Oh,
would be
that's
fun. All right,
Especially when
next
it's snowing
year.
out.
You do Victory Field. I know you're.
Oh yeah, we love our friends at Victory
How many
Field.
first pitches have you thrown out?
Three.
Okay.
Three. Two balls, one strike.
Schumacher runs a great. We had a.
He
podcast
works so
with him.
hard. Yeah.
he is
yes.
wonderful.
That would
Bruce
be.
Schumacher has done a terrific job.
Yeah. Great
And-
folks.
And when we had him on the podcast, he talked about so many different players that had gone through there
Yeah,
that
yeah.
have made wonderful careers, Hall of Fame careers.
But it's his passion over it too, though, and
Absolutely.
that's why that ballpark is that staff that they have there,
Yeah.
top notch from top to bottom. That
And,
entire
and they
group there,
freshen
so-
it up so much that they had a new field in there this year.
Yep.
They have new interesting nights, and it's easy for you to take your dog out there.
Yeah, oh yeah. We do
Yeah.
we do 8 live remotes with them. We've had our camera there at Victory Field, kind of overlooking the
yeah.
skyline. We've had that there for at least since 2016 or 17, maybe no, yeah, probably that long. But if you've ever been up to their Elements set, I mean, this
Fantastic.
beautiful view there, it
Yeah,
really is. It's gorgeous. So yeah, hats off to them.
It's a
But yeah,
major league park. I mean,
Yep.
it's,
It is.
It's on par with the Sacramento A's.
yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, yes. Well, they,
And the
they
Tampa
probably
Bay-
outdrew the Oakland A's.
Yeah,
this
well,
year.
they've got a better ballpark than the Rays now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little tornado action. So
I haven't even heard. Are the Rays? Are they going to get that fixed before the season
No,
starts?
no.
They're going to be playing.
They're gonna
They're
play at a
everywhere.
different
New York
ballpark.
Yankees.
Facility? Is that where they're going to be at? There's
Oh, where they do
yeah.
spring training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay. So with
Yep.
the Indians, what I miss, they've actually gotten so successful. There's no more used car night where you can walk every inning. Somebody wins a used car. You remember those?
That sounds like I don't recall that. Was that at the old
That was
ballpark?
at the old
At the
Busch
at the old
Stadium.
Busch?
So
I go all the way
It's
back.
used
to
car
Donnie-
night.
Sitting next to Donnie Bush.
Really?
At Busch Stadium, and they would have a foul ball, and they would go in the net, and we'd run down where there's a hole in the net, and we would
And
give it
try-
back to the.
Oh, really? They were recycling them.
Oh yeah.
yeah, they also used to have a
Funny.
teepee out in the outfield,
Yeah.
and every time the Indians would have a home run, there'd be a dude in full headdress
Could
come
come out
out
and
do a little
dance.
dance.
And
he-
boom.
Apparently, he only lasted like a season or a season and a half because he was back there drinking Jack
Sure,
Daniels
yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time. And
I knew that was coming.
so, yeah,
Why wouldn't you?
They couldn't.
If you had to live there in center field,
yeah,
they
they
couldn't-
hit a home run in a week.
They
Yeah,
couldn't
you
do that today.
No, No.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, now it's apartments or condos and so forth. So
Yes.
but yeah, no, they're that's the one, and he is so passionate about it, and I love seeing everybody there. And just a great staff.
Merry
I look
Christmas,
forward
Bruce
to it.
Schumacher.
Yeah, yeah. April 1st, I think, is opening day. So we'll see.
So it's coming. So Brian, we brought you on because we wanted to talk to you about those money grubbing libraries.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. On my way over here, there's just so much being built here in Lawrence, and I know the library was a big deal. But I'm be honest with you, I scratched my head. I said, "Why are we building these giant libraries? Do people really go to the library all
Well,
that
the
often?"
emphasis should
I
be-
used to love to go to the library.
Yeah, but the emphasis should be on reading and making
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
that
Bookstores are
everybody-
making a comeback.
Yeah,
I
they
just
are.
saw that, like the smaller bookstore, and I guess Barnes and Nobles are expanding again, or
That's-
reopening
that is
brick and
one of
mortar. But that's kind of a whole different topic too. I mean, we talk about what they're building, but I guess last few months, people are going back to the mall or going back to shops as opposed to just doing everything online.
That's a great signal.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean,
Nice sign.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously running the Chamber of Commerce here in Lawrence, we just don't have a lot of local retail here. And I would love to see in this area here. So we're on Otis Avenue,
right.
right here at the heart of the fort.
Some great restaurants right here.
Oh, there are. And I know that the city still wants to make this Lawrence's Main Street.
Okay.
And with that, they want some boutiques and some shops. And that's kind of the thing that we're lacking. We've got some good local restaurants, but there's not great local
That's
shops.
really how you attract people.
Well,
It is.
I'm really disappointed in Triton Brewery. That's one of my favorite go-tos, and that's really that's a punch in the gut to have them
You were going
close
to
it up.
miss them.
Yeah.
They're great.
John and Dave are great people.
Yeah.
And I hope they land well.
But
They will.
with
Yeah,
that,
they had a
being
great
open,
product, so
there
we'll
will
see.
always be something that grows.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
right here at the Fort Bend Pub,
Mhm.
Wendy and the crew there, they've got a great little pub to come into.
Mhm.
I think they have a
there
bingo
last
night for you there. If you
Oh, you were there last
I was
night?
there
Last night.
last night.
I met David Wood and had
did
beers
you?
with David Wood last night.
So, WIBC.
Yeah.
Wood.
there you go.
So he's
But
another
yes.
Lawrence resident.
Yeah.
So in fact,
But I mean, the whole change. We have a live weather camera here at the Lawrence Civic Plaza, so we can see the skate rink and watch during the summer months. I've got multiple cameras in Lawrence. We've enjoyed it. At the entrance to the state park, we've got it
And
here at the
those help
cultural
you with
campus.
your broadcast.
Just think you bring live pictures to the mix, and that's one of the big things that I really got into over the last several years is having more live cameras. We've got so many newscasts. Let's have live cameras and take you around. So, I'm more than happy to take you to Westfield and show you, hey, and they work. They're amazing to tell the story because when that Arctic front hit a few weeks ago, I can take you to Westfield and show you how it's a window rattling gust and it's a wall of cold air hitting with a big burst of snow. And then I'll take you to Lawrence and it's quiet. And it's kind of like, hey,
That does
get
tell a
ready.
story.
This is coming. This is what it looks like right now. It's cutting loose.
That's wonderful.
By the way, for
Catch
you,
storms too, approaching. So
for you, I'm trying to get the Fort Bend that's in the middle of your Civic Plaza camera to
Yeah.
actually turn so it faces the camera. So I'm working with the city so it's not upside down.
Oh, so you see I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I will tell you a story that a few years ago we had a snow and it was a heavy snow and it was a heavy wet snow. The great kind that you can make snowmen. Someone, while the camera was live, decided through the course of my afternoon broadcast come out and start building a snow anatomy of a man. And you watch this transfer,
Said that
and
it's a family show.
I shook my head, and I had to call my friend Dino Batalis, who was the chief of the
Yeah.
fire department. I said, Dino, will you run over there and knock that thing down so I don't have this phallic symbol sitting in the middle of my live show?
I'm actually a little surprised that you don't get more people hanging out just to be in that shot.
I think 95% of the people don't know there's a camera there. So
I-
what I
I know
enjoy,
where it is.
so we can kind of tune in and watch like some of the skate rinks. Like we have our skate rink here.
Mhm.
We have one at Level at Chris Kindlemart in Carmel. And on Friday nights, Dan Spieler and I enjoy. I want the audio people to play the song "Wipeout," and then we just kind of sit on the camera and we watch people crashing out there. So it's live television and we're having a blast. But so I love the cameras. We have several here in
We know
Lawrence,
you
which
love
is
the camera.
beautiful. So
I'm going to issue.
I got a face for radio there.
I'm issuing a challenge to our viewers. I want somebody to be in that Civic Plaza live shot, either in like an inflatable snowman
Oh,
costume.
great. Thank you. Now he just.
Or
You have
have
no
a- have a-
idea what
have a
we're gonna
stunning
see
stuff
now.
Merritt in the morning.
Yeah, there you go. I wonder who that will be.
Gosh.
Yeah, Josh.
Producer Josh.
Yeah, so there you go. But I mean, it's fun to have these live shots and the live cameras. So I love to go out live on some of these locations, and we do a lot at Victory Field. But there was a long time ago where I was the Meyer backyard barbecue guy. And
Remember that.
that started in South Bend, and I had a life-size cutout of me at the Meyer grocery store. And the idea was that I would come out to your backyard. And I think this is fabulous, and I want to do it on a Friday. They supply the hot dogs and the hamburgers, and I show up in your backyard, and we have a live remote weather while you cook out.
That's awesome. They're cooking
People,
for you.
and back in the day, you had to write in a letter, and then they would randomly put it into a barrel and
Great
pick it, and
creativity.
Yeah.
and so I thought that would be a lot of fun because I put the FU in fun. What can I say?
So much for a family show.
What, huh?
Brian, you've been a fantastic guest.
And we're going to have him back.
We
Oh
are
my
gonna have you
goodness,
back. You'll
really?
be our first 3 times.
Next time someone drops out, I'm right around the
This will
corner,
be
huh?
this will be like the host of Saturday Night Live. I mean, you got 2 more until you get the.
I get a
full-timers
jacket. I get a jacket too.
It'll be a vest.
Oh,
Yeah.
Merritt, does it say?
It'll be a.
M-I-M.
For my show, it's gonna be
MIT.
Yeah.
I'm an MIT.
So Brian Wilkes has been our guest here on Merritt in the Morning. I want to thank our sponsors, the Honey Baked Ham Company, locations at 96 in Michigan and Greyhound Pass in Carmel, right there in front of Menards. Menards ought to be paying for this as much as we drop their name.
Yeah.
Some
Call
libraries too.
John. Call John Menard.
John Menards. Hey, John, let's talk about your relationship with the Hilberts.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, we're back to nice bread. We also want to thank Stockyards Bacon Trust, locations at 71st and Binford, Carmel,
I got tears in my eyes.
downtown Indianapolis. There's a couple.
I don't know if they're tears of laughter or crying. Just
I'm just trying to get to the show.
Yeah, we've been
I was thinking about
back at Cafe Audrey's. By the way, I'm wearing my FC Pride.
I know.
Scarf
It's
today,
very
so
nice. It makes me
Lawrence,
great.
Lawrence Soccer. They are hosting our next Lawrence. What is it? Water Cooler Wednesday
Fabulous.
on January 8th.
Makes a great Christmas gift.
It does make it great. My understanding is they have like 700 of these to get rid of. So yes, does make it
It's
great.
a great stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
Contact Shannon at FC Pride. She'll hook you up. So thank you all for watching.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. We will be back
Happy holidays.
shortly after the New Year, unless we decide to cram one in that week of New Year's. We could do a New Year's Eve special.
And
Well,
why wouldn't
I
you?
will be in New Orleans watching IU in the Super Sugar Bowl.
Really?
That is so optimistic of you, Jim. Wow. I'm
It's
really
Notre Dame is favored in this, isn't it? Aren't they?
Yeah, by
We
like
could
It'd be
do
a
it-
lot of fun.
We could do a remote from New
I
Orleans.
tell you what, if IU is playing in New Orleans, we will do that.
There you go.
We'll make it happen. We'll get a sponsor. Somebody will send us down there. So it'll happen. So thank you all for watching. This has been episode number 44. Thanks to Josh Gillespie for being our fabulous producer. So we will see you next time. Take care.
1,